West Michigan native is working to restore Aretha Franklin's Detroit home. News 8's Kyle Mitchell is in the studio now with more on this really big effort. Kyle.
Rick, Trevor Thomas grew up in Marne. It's his third restoration project and by far the biggest. Work is already underway to restore the home most recently owned by the iconic soul singer. The stunning details of the Tudor Revival architecture in Aretha Franklin's former home had mesmerized its newest owner for many years.
It's truly a beautiful spot because you have Palmer Park on the backside, so it's quite a private space.
Trevor Thomas and his partner purchased the home on the 7th hole of the Detroit Golf Club earlier this year.
We expressed interest in 2019 after Miss Franklin's death, and then 5 years later received a phone call in February of this year asking if we were still interested.
The project is not for the faint of heart. The plan is to convert the nearly 7,000 square foot home from 7 bedrooms into 6 bedrooms.
I think a lot of people took a pass. There was certainly plenty of interest, but it's complex not just to do the deal itself, but then also the restoration.
The work will require significant investment given the scope of what needs to be restored.
Ms. Franklin did not pass in the home. She had lived in another property at that time, and so it had been unused at the time. But sometimes when the heat goes out and it's not noticed, the boiler pipes break, and so that is what happened.
One of the biggest projects will be restoring the roof, and it will take years to finish.
To restore a slate roof is in the hundreds of thousands, and so it will be at least a 5-year project.
Thomas is allowing the public to see the home, including tours.
It's a full-time residence, but we have opened it up to anyone that may have interest because it's our passion and our heart.
Franklin was not the only prominent person to own the home.
Patricia Burnett was a world-renowned portrait artist doing the portrait of not only our First Lady Betty Ford, but also Margaret Thatcher and others, and went on to spearhead the expansion of the National Organization for Women.
This will be the third restoration project for the former Wood TV producer, who now works in the corporate world.
The reality is that I just learned along the way, and so this has been a side hobby. It continues to be a side hobby. I love communications and marketing where I actually work, but the reality is we have 36 amazing team members, and they are true experts in their craft.
The goal is to restore the home and preserve Detroit history for future generations.
We'll make sure that it's not torn down and that it can go another 100 years.
If you want to donate to the restoration efforts, we've included a link in this story on woodtv.com. Rick.